What's up, folks? This is Kenny with Just the Right Angle doing a broadcast on a breaking news. I first heard this on KRN News this morning and then did a little research to find out more about this. And this is an issue that first got me involved in politics. This actually happened Monday, September 9th. Maynor Herrera was involved in a fatality that killed a Little Rock woman. It turns out the woman was actually Jennifer Morton. She was a respiratory therapist at the infant toddler unit of Arkansas Children's Hospital. So this poor woman was killed actually on Sunday, September 8th. And at 5:40 a.m. in the morning. And he was located walking away from the scene. And look at the charges of this guy. This is a guy in Little Rock, Frank Scott Jr.'s hometown. I'm going to send this to Steve Finnegan because we talk about the issues in Little Rock on the Steve Finnegan show. You want to know why this kind of stuff matters? What guy in Little Rock? Sorry, folks. So he's charged with negligent homicide, battery, DUI, violation of Concealed Weapons Act. So yeah, those gun laws that moms demand cry about, that wouldn't have stopped this guy. Reckless driving, driving without a license, another traffic, driving without a license, failure to stop after death, and other traffic violations. So this guy had been pulled over before and let go. I don't know how many other violations. I may look at Pulaski County's correction center to see how many violations this guy committed. And in 2018, Herrera was apprehended by the U.S. Border Patrol near Laredo, Texas. He was removed from the U.S. and transported back to Honduras. This was when Trump was in office. And it's unclear when he returned to the United States. Well, we know how he got here. Joe Biden and administrators on a federal level and state level let this guy in. And now how many times was this guy pulled over and should have been arrested and deported before but wasn't? That's the real question. But of course, the media won't ask this. So when I looked at this, I tried to find this guy, and I decided to look, how many illegals do we have here in Pulaski County? This is the Pulaski County's inmate roster. You see here, you see this guy right here, Francisco Acuna. Hold for immigration, ICE for Immigration Customs Enforcement. In 2023, drugs. You wonder why there's so many drugs in the state and nation? There's a reason why. Let's go down here. We're not supposedly a border state. Here's another one. Eduardo Aguilar, ICE. Means he's here illegally. No driver's license. DWI. This guy could have killed somebody. Here's another one. Hold for ICE. Yeah, we have a massive illegal immigration problem here. And it's going to get worse. And sadly, there is going to be an effort by Republicans to fix this. Here's another one, hold for ICE. So I'll share this. This is by Wayne Long. I've had several bills drafted for the next session to deal with the invasion of illegal aliens. The federal government has proven its unwillingness to do the job. This was in August 17th. Not a little bit of a month before yet another illegal alien death. And here's some more comments. Thank you. Self-deportation. This is where I mentioned self-deportation laws. Yes, we do need prayer on this issue. And as this person, as Amy Freeman has posted, the federal government's supposed to be taking care of this issue, and they're not. And this guy says, yeah, if you're caught, that when this guy should have been arrested and deported, but he wasn't. And now we have this going on, Angel Families. This was a thing I did 4 years ago. Mary Mendoza, Steve running back. And Mary Mendoza is someone who lost, I believe, her daughter to illegal alien crime. And they've talked about these are people that visited President Trump. You can see this video here. I'm not going to play Angel Family's event in Little Rock on Keep Arkansas Legal. You can find it. And then I want to show you part of the why we have the problem we have. Little Rock City Director claims there's no problem with illegal immigration. This was when we were trying to push for the bill to prohibit municipal sanctuary policies. In other words, we cut off the funding to these cities like Little Rock that are aiding and abetting illegals. Well, the problem is we've caught them giving IDs to illegals before and nothing's been done. And in part because we have a weak Republican Party that's too busy with all kinds of petty infighting, lots of drama regarding the certification of electors. And now we have this Jimmy Cavan guy who is running around claiming that if you're not a part of his effort and the effort of Jennifer Lancaster, you're somehow with the RPA, that you've sold out to them. And honestly, I don't even know what the legal issues regarding this. We've of course had fights in Republican meetings, and now we're getting all kinds of lawsuits now. The Republican Party of Arkansas is trying to ignore the state convention regarding rules. Now, most of that is in regards to processing things like closed primaries and being able to vote on who to elect as chair in December in our state committee meeting. But our session comes up in January. It's just a few months. We have our election in November, and then we have the session up in January. And when this session comes up, when these self-deportation laws are presented, they're going to be sabotaged. And I know this because every time we've tried to do this before, it was an uphill battle, and it was those within the Republican Party, especially the donor class, that were doing it, that were sabotaging this. This is a great website to visit. It's called FAIR, Federation for American Immigration Reform. They've been fighting this issue for years. Another one's called Numbers USA. But we got to fix the Republican Party, and we got to win overwhelmingly in elections, and we got to make it understand. And we need the legislators to listen to us and not the donor class. I've posted and talked about this before. I really need to make this an image here on my page, so it's constantly up. But here's who's running the Republican Party right now, who's telling Joseph Woods what to do. Walmart, the globalist organization that has interest in illegal immigration. The Rockefellers. Now, when Rockefeller was, as far as I can tell, an okay guy. He fought to do a lot of reforms regarding illegal immigration, not immigration, but the civil rights issue, and fought against some of the globalist agenda, as far as I could tell. But most of his family, including the patriarch J.D. Rockefeller, he's a big globalist. He's the reason why we have big pharma. A lot of the problems we have today are because of him. And the Rockefeller Foundation, I know, is now run by leftists, and so they're running things. The big banks, McDonald's, and you can see these here. This is under Conduit News. Whose money is it? Whose party is it anyway? And you can see the donor class are still running things. They tell Chris Caldwell and other operatives to order Joseph Woods at what to do. And right now they're in a fight with the RPA regarding the rule changes that we passed. And then, there's been lawsuits against them. I think they need to be personally sued. Joseph Wood, Chris Caldwell, Belinda Harris Ritter, and others need to be personally sued. I don't even know what this drama is regarding the electors. It just doesn't, because from what I understand, signing the thing to certify the election doesn't negate our rule changes. I don't see how it does. You can't call the convention back, but you can still fight for our rule changes, because under the law, the state convention decided to close primaries. The state convention stated that legislators are never not given a free vote in the state committee. And I don't see how signing the elector law changes that. So, I'm going to keep trying to push for conservative issues, regardless what happens with the Republican Party. I know a lot of people said just get out of the Republican Party. The problem is there's no other apparatus in order to make any change. The guy who's proposing this, Wayne Long, is a Republican. There he is right there. He's a Republican legislator from District 39. And the Republicans run the vast majority of the state. And they're going to still run the majority of the state. Democrats are probably not going to gain even enough seats to get rid of the supermajority. But it's all for next to nothing if bills to get rid of the income tax are watered down, because we still have to fund pet projects. It's all going to be for nothing if every other conservative idea gets poison pilled or dies in committee or doesn't get introduced. I remember when we passed this bill right here, SB 411, the bill that stopped sanctuary cities, it was sabotaged by Republicans. I was there when it happened. Matter of fact, I may try to play the part where it's under Keep Arkansas Legal. You can see where this bill was sabotaged routinely. Matter of fact, let me play some of this. Because this lady, by the way, they moved the committee to keep this lady from testifying about how her daughter had been killed by an illegal. But let me see if I can play this and y'all can hear it. Give me just a moment.
How can they do that? So it's going to be a good way to kind of throw egg on these liberal politicians and make them step up and work across the aisle and get this enacted. Oklahoma is the only state right now that has a remittance tax, and in 2015 they had a 1% remittance tax. They collected $11 million that year. That was a 1% remittance tax, and that was in 2015, before this flood of people has come in. So you can see the amount of money that's leaving our country. And Billy Inman, before he died, we had a conversation. And the job that he worked out, he was working with a couple of illegals, and this one kid said, "You guys are fools. You think that we're sending our money home to our grandmas. We're sending our money home to our families. They're buying farms and they're buying auto repair shops. And once we've done what we need to do to your country, we're going to go back home and we're going to be living a great life." This is what they're doing, folks. Right under our noses.
Now, again, this is a lady who lost a loved one to illegal immigration, talking about the financial issue. You juxtapose that with this Little Rock City director. Here, I'll go ahead and play this. They never have a conversation on this issue. They do it behind closed doors because the supporters of illegal immigration are cowards. They're not working. So anyway, you get the gist. The cowards that run our city governments, especially in Little Rock, don't care how many people die at the hands of illegal immigration. This is on the head. This is on the head of Frank Scott Jr. and the other Little Rock city officials who have a policy of catch and release regarding illegal immigration. And this poor woman, Jennifer Morton, paid the price. Her family paid the price. And it's going to happen again. And when we try to make an effort to stop it, it's going to get sabotaged by these people right here that are bankrolling the Republican Party. And others like them, the Chamber of Commerce, Randy Zook, the Arkansas Association of Counties, the Arkansas Municipal League, those groups that tell Joseph Wood what to do. They're going to sabotage it. We need to fix the Republican Party. I'm not sure how, but we need to enforce the rule changes we did. We need to close our primaries so that the globalists don't sneak Democrats in as Republicans. And we need to put more pressure on these backroom deal folks that constantly sabotage conservative issues. That's the way we're going to at least save this part of the nation. Because even if Trump gets elected, I think there's some cities that are just, they've already collapsed. And you can go and see on Twitter examples of, there's like almost every day now a high-speed chase. You've got a Little Rock Hood News on Twitter. I can't really play it because it's oftentimes with language, but just a few days ago, some guy in a van crashed off the interstate and tried to get in a shootout with police and got him to be shot dead. And you see in our Pulaski County Jail, hold for ICE, how many people are in our Pulaski County. And this is just Pulaski County. This doesn't include Northwest Arkansas. And let's not forget, most of these other people in here are hold for drug possession. And of course, where does the drugs come from? They come from the southern border, the wide open border, and they're shipped in all over the nation in every little town, and it's done because we don't deal with illegal immigration. Well, folks, that's just what I wanted to talk about today. It was just a headline on this issue, on this story that I heard again on KRN News Radio this morning. We need to fight to keep this from happening again. So that's all I'm going to say about this. I do a broadcast every Wednesday at 12:35. Catch me there. I'll try to give an update on what's going on in this state and nation. Y'all tune in, share this with others, and otherwise find a way to get involved.